The Airbnb bust continues. Folks, I don't know if you've seen it, but apparently so many Californians have moved to the great state of Texas and specifically the city of Dallas that now Dallas, Texas is doing something that I thought California would do, and that is ban short-term rentals. Dana, I don't know if you've seen this, but this I think is a growing trend across the country where short-term rentals are a target because they are taking inventory away from mom and pop, owners and long-term renters, and people have had enough. So this is a growing trend that I don't think stops with Dallas, Texas. I'm shocked it's Dallas, Texas. I would have thought this was California or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's to your point, just not Dallas. There's discussions also in New York. Airbnb is getting their lawyers ready because of a lockdown there as well. So I do think that this is going to be a growing trend, especially with the affordability debate and how affordability has become a problem. The numbers show that. And so how do you increase the supply of long-term rentals? Short-term is the solution for these cities.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no question. I don't know what the numbers are, but I mean, it's a very easy supply and demand equation, which you're obviously very well aware of. You take 1,000 units of, affordable housing, entry level housing, workforce housing, whatever you want to call it, from a normal neighborhood. Well, that's 1,000 less units that are available for first time home buyers or workforce housing as rentals. And cities have had enough because the builders aren't fixing it, right? They're not building that stuff. So again, in my opinion, if Dallas does this, it's coming across the country in most cities. Now, of course, the resort areas and the mountain towns who have always been short-term rental focused, they'll be okay. But just regular old neighborhoods, it's going to become a problem. And I think operators are going to have a choice, Dana. I think some will sell, right? Because that's what I think, Dallas wants is give us back our units. While others might change to midterm, which typically is defined as 29 days or greater. Again, check your location because it can be different. And then others will go long-term furnished. What do you think? I mean, those are only three options, right?
Yeah, I would also give a third option of long-term unfurnished. I think
Oh, okay.
a lazy real estate investor will do long-term furnished and then realize that the days on market are so much more that taking the furniture out, standardizing it, because most tenants come and say, I've already got furniture. I want to move it with my furniture. It's cute. You have your furniture,
yeah,
but
it's cute. I don't like it.
that's not mine. That's not my style. That's not my bed, my mattress, etc.
Right.
So I think those are the options. Most, I mean, this is obviously a hypothesis, but I think most will actually go to the long-term rental because it's the best. It makes sense. Midterm, there's only so many people looking for midterm rentals, like traveling nurses. You kind of exhaust that market if all short-term decide to go there. And demand for long-term rentals continues to stay at pace, right? We're still seeing from the perspective of vacancy rates and stuff, healthy numbers on the real estate investor side. And so from that perspective, I do think that long-term will be incredibly attractive, especially in this market. If you got locked into on your short-term rentals, if you got locked into a low interest rate, going through and selling it doesn't make that much sense. You can go ahead and cash flow it. I mean, put together your numbers, but you can cash flow it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting, and again, I think Hemlane's going to be a lot of answers for folks. Because one of the things about the short-term arena is there are a lot of applications kind of stitched together to make the experience as an owner or a operator work. But it's the hospitality business.
Yep.
Switching to long-term rentals or even midterm rentals with credit checks and all of those other things, it's not as automated. It's just not. So that's why, software like Hemlane is out there. And I think a lot of folks going from short-term to midterm or long-term need to realize that their collection of 17 apps is not going to help them.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be an actual property management system like Hemlane. I know you play in midterm and long-term. So again, I think people need to check out Hemlane. What are your thoughts when you get a furnished rental coming over?
We always tell folks the risks of a furnished rental. So we say you can go ahead and put it on market as furnished. we highly recommend that you also make a comment in the description that says this can be unfurnished and see what you get.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't change someone's mindset of, oh, I don't want to get storage for the furniture, or I don't want to sell it. You're not going to change their mindset. Who is going to change their mindset is who is going to be renting that place and paying their mortgage.
Right.
That's who's going to change their mindset. So we tell them just post it, mention it can also be unfurnished. And then they see that, you know, 9 out of 10 of the requests, probably more than that, of the inquiries say, hey, I really like it, but I want it unfurnished. And then it's like, that's not us, that's the market speaking.
Yeah.
And so that's the easiest way to do it. I would say that obviously furnished rentals, usually the security deposit is higher, and it warrants a higher rental rate because you also have furniture in it, wear and tear on the furniture as well. The concern I've always had with it is demand, and that you increase your days on market, which if you think about that and the loss in income during that time, it's typically higher than what you can warrant for the additional rental rate. And then also, if your strategy is to buy and hold it, which I would hope that is, if you have it as a short term, it would be buy and hold. The bigger concern that I have is turnover. With short term, with furnished rentals, they turn over so much faster. Every single year they come back to us, if not 6 months, because folks are like, oh, I'm going to live in this place for, you know, 1 year and then find a place to buy, or I'm just here for a year. So it just tends to be more short term. And your goal is to find and place a qualified tenant and hold on to them, because that will obviously in the end always play out in your favor, assuming you're still doing your rent increases.
Yeah. There's one thing that folks need to know, again, going from short-term rentals of the hospitality business to mid or long-term, is Hemlane's going to be that one-stop shop, right? You can help advertise there. You can help communicate with the tenant. You can do all of these amazing things that you really need to think about. Because again, the other thing to realize is you're moving from the hospitality business to more passive income. The IRS is going to treat this entirely different. It's always mind-boggling to me that some people say that short-term rentals is just like long-term rentals. I'm like, no, they're not.
No, they're not. Yeah.
This is not the same game. So if somebody wanted to come out that's currently a short-term rental that's nervous about losing, or maybe they're in the great state of Texas and Dallas, the city, and they need to look at a better option, where are we sending them?
Yeah, if you want to look at long-term as an option, you could go to www.hemlane.com. You could even just list your property and see what you could get in long-term rental rate and compare that. So you can advertise it out. We'll advertise it to over 30 rental listing websites, and you can look at what the market demand is there. It is the summer season, so I recommend listing it now. It is always the highest demand, with the exception of a few places. So I would definitely list it now if you can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dana.
Thanks.